Hare Krishna, Prabhus and Madajis, Dandavat Pranam. Welcome you all to our Gauranga Yatra special evening program today. Thank you all for joining with us. Today is a very special day. Today is Nandotsav and also the appearance day of our beloved Srila Prabhupada. What is Nandotsav? Nandotsav is a festival celebrated just a day before Janmashtami. On this day, many Brajavasis, they are visiting Nanda Maharaj to see the little Krishna. And Nanda Maharaj offers clothes, jewels, various ornaments, etc. to sages, saints, and the Brajavasis. And in return, they are all blessing the Supreme Lord Krishna. On that special day of Nandotsav, our Srila Prabhupada appeared. And there is a special, today is 125th appearance day of Srila Prabhupada. There is so many glorifications which is not able to finish or cover in a day or something. That much we have. Without Srila Prabhupada, none of us will be here. Yesterday, the Janmashtami celebrated not only in India, all over the world. It is because of Srila Prabhupada. Because of Srila Prabhupada got the instruction from his spiritual master, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, and Srila Prabhupada went and visited many countries and converted and changed many people to the Krishna consciousness. And all Srila Prabhupada disciples came to India and they are all well trained by Srila Prabhupada. Now, because of Srila Prabhupada's mercy, we are all here in the Krishna conscious movement. And Prabhupada bring all of us from the darkness to the spiritual light. So we have a very, very special announcements and everything will be at the end of the program. And I request all the devotees, please stay till the end. And also we are going to do the Kushpanjali after the Aarthi. So keep the flowers, everything ready. And today our MC will be Bhakta Rohit. Over to you, Rohit. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone. On this auspicious day, we, the youth of Gauranga Yatra, welcome you to the celebration of Srila Prabhupada's appearance day, along with Nandotsav. As you all know, we celebrated Janmashtami yesterday. But some of you may not know that right after Janmashtami lies another auspicious festival, that is Nandotsav. It is on this day that all the Brajvasis came to Nanda Maharaja's house and visited little Krishna. Nanda Maharaj distributed various things such as ornaments, clothes, cattle, and sweets. Today is also the appearance day of the founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, Srila Prabhupada. Just like how Nanda Maharaja distributed sweets to everyone, Srila Prabhupada distributed the holy name of Lord Shri Krishna all over the world. It is by his mercy that we are all here attending this program today. Without wasting any of your valuable time, let us begin the program. First up, we have a wonderful kirtan by Bhaktin Akshaya and Bhakta Adarsh. We request everyone to listen and chant the Harinam at your homes with your mic muted. Over to you, Akshaya and Adarsh.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Radha Shyam Sundar Radha Shyam Sundar Shri Radhe, Radha Shyam Sundar Radha Shyam Sundar Shri Radhe. Jai Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe, Radha Gopinath Jai Radha Shyam Sundar Radha Shyam Sundar Shri Radhe, Radha Shyam Sundar Radha Shyam Sundar Shri Radhe. Jai Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jai Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jai Krishna Balaram, Jai Krishna Balaram, Jai Krishna Balaram. Jai Panchatattva, Jai Panchatattva, Jai Panchatattva, Jai Panchatattva, Nita Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nita Gaur Hari Bol, Nita Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nita Gaur Hari Bol, Nita Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nita Gaur Hari Bol, Nita Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Harinam Sankirtan ki, Prabhupada ki, Nita Gaur Sitanath Prabhupada.
Hari Bol, that was a splendid kirtan. The way both of you sang for the pleasure of Krishna was commendable. In the song Hari Hari Bifale, Narottam Das Thakur says, Golo Kera Prema Dhana Harinam Sankirtana, which means that the Harinam Sankirtana is directly imported from the spiritual kingdom known as Goloka Vrindavana. It is the treasure of the love of Godhead. Next up, we will have the Abhishekam by Her Grace Sri Prada Mataji and Bhakta Ritvik. But before that, we will have a small kirtan as the deity gets ready. Over to you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. हरिनाम संकीर्तन की श्रीला प्रभुपाद की नंदोत्सव महोत्सव की जय गौर प्रेमानंद
हरि हरि बोल।
Hari Bol. Next up, we have the Abhishekam of Srila Prabhupada by His Grace Prasanna Vasudev Prabhu and Bhagavan Prabhu, Bhagavan Govinda Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare
हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि बोल।
Hari Bol. That was a splendid kirtan and glamorous Abhishekam. It is truly blissful to be able to experience such an auspicious ceremony online, despite the current circumstances. I'm now going to glorify Srila Prabhupada by reading some of Srila Prabhupada's greatest contributions and achievements. And after that, we will have a compilation of clips that glorify Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada's achievements are innumerable, magnificent, and extraordinary. Some of his achievements are: 1. He dictated a total of 22,000 pages of text. He translated and wrote purports to over 18,000 verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. He translated and wrote purports for 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita. He translated and wrote purports for 12,555 verses of Chaitanya Charitamrita. He published 147 books. Srila Prabhupada wrote 7,000 letters to his disciples. Srila Prabhupada created Back to Godhead magazine, of which 1 million copies are distributed. Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita lectures are compiled in 7 volumes of audiobooks. His Srimad Bhagavatam lectures are compiled in 12 volumes of audiobooks. His conversations with various scientists, professors, and editors have been compiled in 42 volumes of audiobooks. And he changed the life of thousands of people, of which 5,000 became his initiated disciples. And he did all this in only 9 years. And he established 108 temples all over the world, all in between the age of 70 to 80. So now we're going to have a video compilation that glorifies Srila Prabhupada. Over to you, Param. Hare Krishna.
Hariksha Param, we can't hear.
Prophecy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to give this gift, to fulfill the prophecy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu within every town and village through the world. He set that process in motion worldwide, and nothing could stop him. His dedication to the order of his Guru, to the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and his compassion for all living beings was unstoppable. At the age of 69, he departed from Calcutta, took that 38-day voyage on Jaladuta. After heart attack, seasickness, he arrived in New York with nothing and no one, but nothing could stop him. It took about a year till he finally established a tiny little rundown storefront in the Lower East Village of New York. A little storefront in San Francisco. And then his visa ran out. He had to go to Canada for half a year. There was no one and nothing that could arrange a visa for him. At one point, he told the president of the tiny little temple in Montreal, Canada, that if I can't ever go back to America, we should make Montreal our world headquarters. And somehow or other, with the help of Allen Ginsberg, some lawyers arranged to get him another visa for America. And then he was back in the little storefront at 26 2nd Avenue. And from there, he established his movement all over the world. Just Last week I was in the Ukraine. Russia and Ukraine, there are tens and thousands of devotees, sincere, dedicated devotees. Srila Prabhupada was refused immigration to Russia several times, but somehow or other he never gave up, and he got to just go there for a few days, and he planted the seed. He set the spark that would set all those countries in the former Soviet Union on the fire of Krishna consciousness. And Srila Prabhupada, in his pastimes of spreading Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's most intimate, confidential mercy to the world, put most energy of any other place right here at Sri Sri Radha Ras Bihari Temple in Mumbai. And this year, hopefully, His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj, his book about Srila Prabhupada's pastimes here at Radha Ras Bihari Temple, his intimate connection to the deities here, bringing them to a swampy, dangerous area, making a promise, and through every possible obstacle, he never gave up. He never stopped the enthusiasm of his devotees to carry on. And nobody could believe at that time that Sri Sri Radha Ras Bihari Temple could be what it is today. Years and years of struggle.
Served, Prabhupada just took a bite and he became very angry. He said that I personally taught you how to cook it and you forgot. And he was very, very heavy, And not only at that time, for next 2 days, whenever I went near him, he just blasted me. That and his point was, he personally taught me how to cook that, and I forgot. And not only he chastised me, whoever went to him, he also told him how useless I was. Then on the third day, when Prabhupada's anger, Prabhupada's anger subsided to some extent, and Prabhupada kind of, rather in a mild way this time, he asked me, how could you forget when I personally taught you? And then I told Prabhupada, I didn't actually forget. I deliberately didn't put it because I thought your stomach was not good, and red chili will not be good for your condition. Then Prabhupada told me, then why didn't you tell me all this while? And then he told me that ghee is hot and chili is hot. But when there is a lot of ghee and lot of chili, they counteract each other's effect. But what touched my heart the most, if I can say so, was Prabhupada's concern for everyone. In one hand, Prabhupada was so strict, but at the same time, Prabhupada was so compassionate and so concerned. Like I remember, Prabhupada for months, for 2 months at least, he did not eat anything. Only once in a while he would take some juice, fruit juice, and a little diluted milk.
Didn't like a lot of the names that the sannyasis had picked out. At least 3 times he changed the name. And the 3rd time he looked at Brahmananda and he said, where have you gotten these names? That was a really interesting lecture too. Prabhupada in that lecture was talking about a jamil, and one of the devotees was reading, the book hadn't been published yet, and they were reading the translation, and They said, Ajamil called out 3 times, Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. And Prabhupada said, 3 times? I didn't say 3 times. He said, 1 time. He said, once is sufficient. Narayana. That was in that class. Anyway, during that initiation, Prabhupada changed at least 3 of the names. One of them I remember was Bubrit. And I forget the original name, but when Prabhupada changed it to Bubrit, he said, Bubrit means one who carries all the planets on their head. And the other name the sannyasis had given, he said, that means one who carries a heavy load. But it was really interesting then, we were staying at the home of one Indian family, and the woman had been chanting 16 rounds, getting up early, offering her food for 3 years, but her husband wasn't favorable. And the temple authorities wouldn't recommend her for initiation. So she had gone to Prabhupada personally, and Prabhupada accepted her. You know, the devotees had the atmosphere, the attitude, especially with women. Well, if the husband's not strict, how's the woman going to follow? And Prabhupada didn't consider that. If she wants to follow, she can follow, and he accepted her. And I saw them 20 years later in Vrindavan, and the husband had become a devotee. But that was really, really sweet. My father went on a morning walk with Srila Prabhupada in Philadelphia in 1975. I couldn't go, but my father got to go. And when he came back, I said, so what did Prabhupada say? And he was just all beaming. And he said, I don't know. I don't remember anything he said, but it was the most wonderful experience of my whole life. So. When we were in Prabhupada's room there in Chicago in '74, and this is on the video, but it was a very sweet conversation. And first, Prabhupada thought that my husband was my father's son. And then my father said, no, this is my daughter. I said, oh. He said, you have any sons? And my father said, no, just daughters, 3 daughters. I said, oh, only daughters. And then Prabhupada told my father the story of Prahlad and Hiranyakashipu. Basically, he was telling my father that he was a demon. But my father really appreciated it. He really enjoyed hearing the story. And my father said, I have my own religion. Is it all right if I visit a temple if I have my own religion? Some places of worship, they only want you to come if you really want to participate. Of course, later my father almost became a devotee, but at this point, this was his first time that he met Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, yes. He said, just like we're in Chicago, and he was very casual that. He was like this on a cushion. He said, yes, just like there's so many planes going to Chicago, but they have to know that they're going to Chicago, or else what is the meaning of many planes? He said, so if you know that the purpose of religion is to know God and to love Him, then you can say that there's so many religions. I thought about that for many, many months. How that most religions don't say that their goal is to know God and to love Him. They want to go to heaven, or they want salvation. And then my father asked Prabhupada, said, well, I'm really coming here just to see my daughter and my son-in-law. Is that okay? You know, same kind of question, that I'm not really coming to see Krishna. And Prabhupada said, yes. Again, it was like this. He said, yes. He said, they are loving Krishna. And I'm thinking, I don't love Krishna. He said, chanting and dancing are symptoms of loving Krishna. So they are loving Krishna, and you are loving them, and 2 things equal to the same thing are equal to each other. That was very sweet. That's one of the things that Prabhupada has said that's really sustained me over the years. I thought Prabhupada saw at least the potential that I'm loving Krishna. So if Prabhupada said I'm loving Krishna, someday I'll love Krishna. And it also really guided me in my relationships with my family.
My only, what could be called personal association, I mean in the sense of like one-on-one exchange, with Prabhupada was when I went to get my Brahminical initiation. And I'd been waiting a few days because Prabhupada gave so many people all at once initiation. This was here in Vrindavan in 1976. So after several days, I got in to be with Prabhupada. Pushta Krishna was his secretary, and I've been waiting there all morning, as I've been there for the last few mornings, and he just wanted to cut it just before me. So he saw I looked a little disappointed, so I said, okay, go in. Then we'd been, myself and one godbrother, we joined pretty much at the same time. We were going out on book distribution together, and we were close friends. He left his body about 2 years ago, Satyavak Prabhu. So we'd heard things here and there about, see, in those days there weren't so many books translated, and it was mostly Prabhupada's books that we knew anything from, and weren't so many books written, and we just used to hear little snippets of things here and there that might be in some Shastra. And we heard that from, we'd heard, or Satyavak had heard, that from Hari Bhakti Vilas it says you should face in this direction at this time of day when you say your...
Satyavak, he was British?
Yeah.
He passed away?
He passed away maybe 2 or 3 years ago. So you should face in a certain direction in the morning, another direction in the evening, another direction at night, and when you're saying your Gayatri. And you should say it specifically at this time, so many minutes before the sunrise, or so many minutes after. And you should hold it at the throat or something like that at the morning, or something, I can't remember, in the chest at midday, like this. There's so many detailed rules of how to do it. So we thought, well, this is very interesting and far out, as the language was in those days. So I thought, well, you know, if I get a chance, I'd like to ask Prabhupada about this. So anyway, I went in, and Prabhupada had me pronounce the words, and I thought I knew how to pronounce Sanskrit quite nicely, so I read the sheet out, and every word I said wrong, and Prabhupada was correcting me. And then after I think after the first mantra, Prabhupada just gave up trying to correct me, and just, whatever I said, he just let it go on. So then he saw this thing, and he said, you chant this mantra morning, noon, and evening. Do you have any questions? So I wanted to ask about this, that I'd heard that you should chant exactly so many minutes before the sunrise, or so many minutes after, like that. So I said, Prabhupada is... And then I was going to ask about which direction to face in, to confirm all these things we'd heard, and then which direction your thumb should be facing. I don't know what it was exactly. So anyway, I asked Prabhupada, Prabhupada, is there any exact time for... Is there any particular time for chanting? And Prabhupada just told me to chant morning, noon, and evening. So he said, yes, chant morning, noon, and evening. So then again I asked that, but Prabhupada, is there any exact particular time? Prabhupada looked at me and said, morning, noon, and evening. So I didn't think to ask all those other questions about which direction you should be facing in. I just said, yes, Prabhupada. I offered my obeisances and left.
Bombay. So after a while, this devotee somehow got it in his mind that he should go off on his own and leave and make his own way spiritually in life. And he took up living on Juhu Beach with one bogi yogi, with the intention of learning the art of passing a coin from one ear out the other ear. So before he had done this, he was already canvassing from our members, collecting on his own. So I had approached Prabhupada, that Srila Prabhupada, this person, we have to write something to our members to warn them about this person. So Prabhupada was a little hesitant to do that. Then finally, but he was not ready to give up on this devotee. But when this devotee finally started to live with that bogi yogi, I said, Prabhupada, now it's reached the limit. This person is on the beach, living with a bogus yogi, trying to learn how to pass the coin from one ear out the other. So I said that now, it's the end, it's finished. And Prabhupada looked at me and he said, you do not know about Lord Nityananda's mercy. I said, why, Srila Prabhupada? He said, because there is no end to Lord Nityananda's forgiveness. And later on, sure enough, that devotee came back. And again, Prabhupada tried to help him. He gave this person sannyas even, and the person eventually left. But I met him maybe a year ago, and he's still on some spiritual path of some type. But Prabhupada was so clear, looked at me, and he said, there's no limit to Lord Nityananda's mercy and compassion. So Srila Prabhupada is the manifest representative of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. And his forgiveness is like that. So I think that in terms of both our dealing with our own shortcomings and in terms of dealing with each other, we have to always remember that Prabhupada never rejected a devotee. There's very, very, very few instances in the history where Prabhupada, did so. It was very, 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 very rare.
That was incredible. It is simply mind-blowing that Srila Prabhupada, at the age of 69, he started his journey to New York City with only 40 rupees in his pocket and a trunk full of books and some of his personal belongings, and he went on a cargo ship, Jalduta. The journey proved to be treacherous, and he suffered 2 heart attacks while on the ship. Despite all this, by Krishna and his Guru's mercy, he began preaching, and within only 9 years, he accomplished the feat of establishing 108 temples all around the world. Next up, we have the Bhoga Aarti, which is being sung by Bhakta Tejo and Loknath. Over to you, Tejo.
Hare Krishna. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Bhaja bhakata vatsala Shri Gaura Hari. 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 Shri Gaura Hari, Hari Krishna Bihari. Shri Gaura Hari, Hari Krishna Bihari. Nanda Yasomati Chita Hari. Nanda Yasomati Chita Hari. Bhaja bhakata vatsala Shri Gaura Hari. Bhaja bhakata vatsala Shri Gaura Hari. Ela hoilo damodara se kano. Ela hoilo damodara se kano. Bhoga mandire boshan koro bhajana. Bhoga mandire boshan koro bhajana. Mandirani deshe bache giri baradari. Mandirani deshe bache giri baradari. Kala deva sahata se sari sari. Kala deva sahata se sari. Bhakta kava Shri Gaura Hari. 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 Tasapadi Bhaji Nalita Kushmana. Tasapadi Bhaji Nalita Kushmana. Nalidana Dukta Tumbi Dadi Mohotsava. Nalidana Dukta Tumbi Dadi Mohotsava. Mukta Bodhamasa Krishna Shashkuli Pistapake Kuli Daya Sanna Shashkuli Pistapake Kuli Daya Sanna Japata Bhakti Gora Pura Amrita Keli Ramba Kira Sara Pura Amrita Keli Ramba Kira Sara Amrita Rasala Amna Jada Shabrakara Amrita Rasala Amna Jada Shabrakara Uchi Chini Sa Tori Lado Rasabali Puri Nando Rasabali Bojana Pore Na Krishna Hoye Gopari Bojana Pore Na Krishna Hoye Gopari Bhakta Dava Adhikara Bhakta Anavivida Vyajana Adhikara Bhakta Anavivida Vyajana Paramande Krishna Kore Navajana Paramande Krishna Kore Navajana Kale Bale Lattu Gaye Shivadu Mangala Kale Bale Lattu Gaye Shivadu Mangala Magala Bajane Anadeva Deya Hari Bolo Magala Bajane Anadeva Hari Bolo Kadi gane heri nayane rakone Kadi gane heri nayane rakone Krishna hoye kai Krishna Jashoda Bhavane Krishna hoye kai Krishna Jashoda Bhavane Janante piye Krishna Subhashita Bhari Janante Krishna Subhashita Bhari Sabe Mukha Bhaktarole Hoye Sari Sari Sabe Mukha Bhaktarole Hoye Sari Sari Bhakta Bhakta Gora Hari Mukta Prakariya Jata Sukha Gane Mukta Prakariya Jata Sukha Gane Anande Vishama Kore Bala Devasane Anande Vishama Kore Bala Devasane Tambula Rasala Ne Tambula Masala Tambula Masala Ne Tambula Masala Nahate Krishna Chandra Suke Netra Kela Nahate Krishna Chandra Suke Netra Kela Bhakta putra chamara dhulaya Saratna Siki putra chamara dhulaya Apurva sayaya Krishna sukhe nidrajaya Apurva sayaya Krishna sukhe nidrajaya Yashomati Atyapti Vanishani To Yashomati Atyapti Vanishani To Sri Krishna Prasadara Prabhujane Mojito Sri Krishna Prasadara Prabhujane Mojito Lita ki gana avashesha paya Lita ki gana avashesha paya Mane mane sukhe radha krishna guna gaya Mane mane sukhe radha krishna guna gaya Hari lila ek mata jahara pramoda Hari lila ek mata jahara pramoda Bhoga arati gaye Thakura bhakti vinoda Bhoga arati gaye Thakura bhakti vinoda
Hare
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Bogarti ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki jai. Nandotsav Mahamahotsav ki jai.
Srila Prabhupada appearance day Mohotsava ki
Jai.
Lord Premanande.
Bhaktivinoda Thakur beautifully describes Lord Sri Krishna as Bhakta Vatsala, which means that Lord Krishna or Sri Gaurahari is always affectionate toward his devotees. The term Chitta Hari is also used, which means that Sri Krishna captivates the heart of those dear to him. Next up, we have the Aarthi and Kushpanjali by Bhakta Maniharan, requesting all the devotees to keep some flowers ready to offer for Pushpanjali. Over to you, Maniharan. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, till the altar open, we can do the kirtan. Okay. Maniharan?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhagati Satma Bando Moye Sabata
Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamine
जय ओम विष्णुपाद परिवराचार्य सोस सदा अभय चरण भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की इस्कॉन फाउंडराचार्य श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परिवराचार्य सोस सदा भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की गंगा माई की यमुना माई की मधुरा धाम की जय वृंदावन धाम की जय नवदीप धाम की जय मायापुर धाम की जय भक्ति देवी की जय तुलसी देवी की जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद भागवतम की जय सामवेद भक्त वृंद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय हरे कृष्ण महामंत्रा की जय हरिनाम संकीर्तनम की जय ऑल ग्लोरीज टू assembled devotees all glories to assembled devotees all glories to assembled devotees all glories to Guru and Gauranga all glories to Prabhupada Sri the Prabhupada 125 years appearance day maha utsavam ki jai Srila Prabhupada ki Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari 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 Bol.
Hari Bol. Before we conclude with the program, let us offer our prayers to Sri Narasimhadev, without whose protection we cannot live in this material world. The Narasimha Aarti song will be sung by Bhaktan Arya, the doctor of Bikram Prabhu. Over to you, Arya.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama.
Next time, I'm not going to This is better. Stay good.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Can you, Radha Singh Balaji, can you organize for Kirtan in your house? Please.
Sure, Prabhu. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya.
Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha
Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha
महाराज शुक्र नरसिंहदेव भगवान जी की जय, भक्त प्रहलाद महाराज जी की जय, जय गौर प्रेमानंद।
Hari Bol. I would now like to hand over the anchor to our Yatra leader, His Grace Sri Ranga Prabhu, who will proceed with the closing notes. Thank you to all the devotees for giving me an opportunity on this auspicious occasion of the 125th anniversary of His Grace Srila Prabhupada. My heartfelt thanks to Sri Ranga Prabhuji and Gopigana Gita Mataji. Please bless me to continue my service wherever I go. All glories to Gauranga Desh Yatra. Hare Krishna. Over to you, Sri Ranga Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Rohit. Wonderful. You are organized very nicely. Thank you so much. And the specialty of today's program is all the Nandotsav and Srila Prabhupada appearance programs are organized by our GDY youth children. Kudos to all the children. Thank you all. Thank you so much for organizing wonderfully. And we have few announcements. So Rohit and the team done a wonderful performance. And also there is a lot of programs arranged by the youth for the coming Friday. Please let us join and enjoy the programs. Okay, before that I have request all the devotees to pray for every week. We are praying for Nisolana Jayapataka Swami Maharaj and various Maharaj and all other devotees for their long life and continue their services to please Srila Prabhupada. Let us chant 3 times. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. There is a message posted in the groups regarding to take a very special occasion today, and I want all the devotees take a vow. How we can please Srila Prabhupada? You know very well how much Srila Prabhupada struggled to bring the devotees, and moreover, Srila Prabhupada dedicated his life for writing various books. This is for us to read. So even though in whichever way, we have to read these books actually. I don't know how many of you are read Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita. I don't want the condensed version, but you have to read the 2 volumes. It is clearly shows how much Srila Prabhupada dedicated his life for all of us. Okay, so let us take a vow. As I already mentioned, request all the BV members, BV leaders to engage. Read this Leelamrita compulsory. And also request, as I mentioned, this is a vow actually. We have to take. Whatever you are doing, everything okay. But this is a compulsory. You have to read Srila Prabhupada books. There is no compromise in that. Even though we are reduced the books from more to less, but this is must. This way we can fulfill Srila Prabhupada desire actually. So request you all to, it is a very, very humble request from my side. Please, this is a must for all the devotees. So please encourage. I request the BV leaders, encourage your BV members to read. Reading is compulsory. Okay, this is our own purification actually. I don't want to force anyone. And also we are already organized the Chaitanya Charitamrita reading session. I request all the initiated devotees, whether you are completed or not, you should be here. This is what our dedication. This is what our spiritual activities. So I request all the devotees and also few initiated devotees, those who are not completed, the Srimad Bhagavatam, please, you have to parallelly, you have to balance that also. I'm not forcing you to finish within the stipulated period, but you have to complete. This way we can please your spiritual master. Okay, without taking much of your time, this is one of the main thing which I want to inform you all. So please, 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 I request, please, at any cost, reading is our priority. Okay. As I mentioned, request all the devotees, please kindly join Friday. Our program is between 9 to 11 without fail. Please join, and thanks to all the organizing teams, Alram Purnima team, Janmashtami team, and Nandotsav and the Appearance Day organizing team, and especially to the GDY youth children. Thank you all. And the GDY youth team is headed by Param. Thank you, Param, for your initiative and taking all the children's and moving forward. Hare Krishna. Any other announcements before we wind up the session today? Okay, we have a few more announcements. Yes.
On Friday,